welcome to my training for today. Today we're talking about materiality assessment. And if you've been following my teachings, we've done ESG categorization, which is the environment, social, and governance. Out of that, we came out with our factors. So some of the factors, especially for environment, we had climate change, we have land pollution, air pollution, noise, and all of that. And the social, we had health and safety, we had employee welfare, and a host of others. In terms of governance, we had internal controls, we had risk management, board compensation, and all of that. That has been done. And out of that, we came out with issues under each of the factors. So if you look at environment issue and we have climate change, the issues there or how the organization contribute to climate change. We're looking at, for example, release of greenhouse gas emission in terms of social. So let's say if we are looking at employee welfare, we are looking at issues around trainings, issues around promotion, and all of that. In terms of governance, if we are looking at internal controls, or we are looking at, let's say, board diversity, structures, and all of that, we are looking at composition in terms of age, in terms of demographic, and in terms of all of that. That has been done earlier. So if you don't, if you haven't checked, you can go back and have that videos watch and you come to where we are now. So after you've gotten all your issues, the next point is to do materiality assessment of all the issues. Or you have to do assessment of all the materials. The materials are issues we identify out of the factors. All right, like I said, this is how materiality assessment look like after it has been populated. So for today, at the end of this short training, you have to get to a definition of a materiality and how it has evolved up until this time. We look at the issue of double materiality, we look at system thinking and materiality assessment, then look at prioritization of ESG issues using system thinking. That is basically what we are doing today. Let's get into a bit of materiality. Now, when we say materiality, it's just a process by which organization use to identify, prioritize, and focus on ESG issues that are significant to business success and it has and how it impacts stakeholders also. Right. So it's a system of identifying ESG issues and how they have importance to business in terms of achieving business objectives and how they are important to stakeholders. That is the definition of uh, materiality in ESG. Now let's look at how materiality has evolved up until this time. The first time materiality came to being was in 1990s when, in GRI guidelines, and GRI is Global Reporting Initiative. In their guidelines, they were making mention of materiality or material issues in there. Fast forward to 2006, materiality started popping up in sustainability reporting. Right. In 2010s, it became more critical and was common in most sustainability discussions. In 2020s and beyond, it has maturity has attained global recognition and it appears in every ESG reporting. So if you take SASB, if you take GRI, if you take CSRD, any of the ESG reporting standard, materiality has become critical in any of these reporting standard. So that's how materiality has evolved up until this time. Let's talk about double materiality. In recent time, companies or business have also come to the understanding that we have two types of materiality. We have the inward and outward. The outward is, or the impact materiality is where the organization's operations impact the general public or the stakeholders or the community. That becomes the impact materiality. How our operations in the area of greenhouse gas emission, air emission, water discharge, waste management impact our stakeholders. And the financial materiality or the inward materiality is where ESG factors also impact the organization performance in terms of finances. Right. So there's two add to materiality now, but we take time to go into double materiality as a topic. But I just have to brush through it. And let's look at how materiality assessment is done. All right. So in doing materiality assessment, you always have two axes, like your X and Y axis, as you can see. One represents how the issues are of importance to business. One represents how the issues are of importance to stakeholders. You always have your four quadrants. At the lower left side have issues that are of low importance to stakeholders and at the same time of low importance to business in terms of achieving business objectives. We have far right, right, for or lower right. Lower right represent issues that are of high importance or significant importance to stakeholders, but of low importance to business or in terms of achieving business objectives. Right. If you go to the upper left represent issues that are of high importance to business but of low importance to stakeholders. This side represents its importance to businesses. I think I mistakenly didn't put that here, but this side represents how the issues are of importance to businesses. Now, if you come to the upper right column represent issues that are of high importance to stakeholders and at the same time of high importance to business in terms of achieving business objectives. Right. Uh, so this is how material assessment is done, and this is how it came out or it will come out after you finish the assessment. This is one way of doing it. They have so many templates. It depends on how the organization want to conduct their materiality assessment and the kind of matrix they want to use. This one of it. This can also be another way of doing it. Uh, there are so many ways of doing it. Depends on how the organization wants to adopt a matrix to do it. Some matrix, like you can see here, won't have the low. However, it will have numbers as to 2, 4, 6. Some will have this. It depends on really how the organization wants to go about with their materiality assessment. So if we pick this, we pick the issues one by one and we pick it into the right quadrant. So if you pick an issue like, let's say, energy consumption, which is an environmental factor, we look at how, based on the company's operation, we look at how is it important to stakeholders. So as you can see here, maybe because of the operations, the business operation is medium. So you place it here. We go and look at because we want to look at its impact on business and maybe just this is just an example, maybe it's high. So high, medium, and maybe say we'll place it here. We'll pick another issue, maybe both diversity and both dependency and diversity, which is a governance issue. We look at how it impacts stakeholders, how it impacts businesses. We'll put it at the right place. We look at health and safety issues. Maybe it's of high to stakeholders and it's at the same time high to business in terms of achieving objectives, then you put it at where it's supposed to be. So all the issues at all the categorization to factors will be placed at the right quadrant. So at the end of the day, you have a materiality assessment done like this. Or like I said, so if you look at my legend, I have the environment issues. All the environment issues are the one you see in green. All the social issues are the one you see in blue. And all the governance issues are the one you see in pink. This is how materiality, this is one form of doing materiality assessment. Like I say, it can also be done this way where you have your moderate, you have your high and all of that. So you'll be putting it as and when, based on. So yeah, this is not done by one person. It has to be done by experts who understand ESG issues and who can make input as far as ESG issues are concerned. So if you look here, this one has really low, high, this one also low, high. If you pick any of the issues like farm, animal welfare, as you can see, this is low to business and it's at the same time low to stakeholders. So it's placed here. So this how materiality assessment is done to get your grades done nicely. After that, use the same system thinking to prioritize them. So now if you pick it one, so let's say one of the issue, which is an environment issue was spill prevention and response. So you put it here, you go back and check its importance to business. Let's say it was high. Its importance to stakeholders. Let's say it was at the same time high. So it means it become a top level priority for management, something that management should keep a close eye on. You can pick another issue, health and safety issue, which is a social issues. Maybe based on your operation, it's high to achieving business objectives. It's high to stakeholders also. It become top. And let's come to an element or an issue like energy efficiency. Maybe in terms of its importance to business, is medium. Its importance to stakeholders, it become high. It tend to be medium based on the company's matrix they are using. At the same time, if it has the numbers, so it could be like, let's say when we pick energy efficiency, it can be two, and you mark it again. It can be two for its importance to stakeholders, and it can be, let's say, six for its importance to achieving business objectives. So it become two and six, which give you the rating for that particular issue. And then you're able to prioritize and get ESG issues that are of much significance to both businesses and stakeholders. That will guide you to coming up with your scorecard, and will help you in subsequent preparing your report, ESG reports, and all of that. This is also another way of, coming out with your issue. So you have agriculture issue. We have like a factor like agriculture sourcing, which is a factor that has been identified. Issues around it, they have raw material, organic product, and all of that. So after they going through their mapping it against importance to business, important to stakeholders, it came to high priority. So all of this will be done to all of the issues that will be identified based on every sector. So I think I've done so much. Join me for my next lecture as we go on to build a very robust scorecard, and I'll teach you how to do your first report using any of the ESG reporting standard. Thank you for joining me.